بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
I'd like to share with you some pictures and ask you what your opinion is of these pictures. They may or may not be amulets and talismans or impermissible. You tell me. The first one, what do you say, Ya Abbas? It's haram. What is it? Why is it haram? The little thing, okay. So it's a string. Right away, notice what's with these things. Strings and knots. Right away you say, strings with knots. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. The tying of knots and the dealing with strings and knots and things like that is from the work of the magicians. And here we see a knotted string like it made into a bracelet. But the big concern is, what is that thing that's called the locket or the centerpiece? The iqt, the thing that's in the middle. Yeah, Abdul Latif?
I can't recall the name of it, but I believe that it's something that the magicians put supplications in it that has names.
In reality, yes. This is a capsule. And inside of it, there's a little piece of paper scrolled up in there. Do you know some names that this is referred to in some cultures? Simba, do you have this in your culture? Ramil, you've seen it? What do they call this? So they call it maybe a ruqya. Like there's some ayat. They always say, here's what they say. It's just ayat from the Quran inside. It's nothing but ayat in the Quran. That's all. Don't worry. That's the trick. And you'll see, 9 times out of 10, when you open it up and you look inside, you'll see disasters. You'll see codes. You'll see charts. You'll see numerology. You may even see the names of jinn and shayateen being called upon. وَلِعَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Right? And I'm going to show you some examples of that, insha'Allah ta'ala.
Even sometimes they put ayat
with urine. Subhanallah. The people who make these polytheistic scrolls, those who are involved in magic, of the occult and these kinds of things, you might be saying, what Muslim would think he's a Muslim and he's involved in the occult and he's involved in dark arts and calling upon shayateen, calling upon devils and jinn? Believe me, in Muslim cultures there are people who say this is fine. This is okay. And they have some very weird justifications for that. Don't you know that Sulaiman, he had the jinn do things for him? Sulaiman. Did he have the jinn do things for him or not? Yeah, who's going to go bring Bilqis's arsh, her throne, to me? Who did it? The jinn. So he had the jinn doing things for him. Don't you remember our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tried to stop a jinn from passing in front of him, and then he let it go, because he said that is something specific for Sulaiman that was for no one after him. So then, how is it that someone can say, I call upon jinn because Sulaiman used to call upon jinn? And Sulaiman did not call upon jinn. The jinn were placed under his control. They were musakharin, musakharat. The male and female jinn were placed under his control as a special kind of authority granted to Sulaiman and no one else. So him telling the jinn to do something was requesting something from someone who was present under his authority, capable of doing what he was doing, not like us, where the jinn are not under our control, they're not under our authority. When you interact with jinn, they are requesting things from you. They are asking for a transaction, so you're going to have to do something for them. And they will request that you disbelieve in Allah, that you commit shirk with Allah, that you do something blasphemous, that you say something horrendous, things like that. And this is from the world of the interactions with the jinn. Wallahu musta'an. So what is this? It is a tamima. To use the word that is most relative to us today, it's a tamima. It's a talisman. It's an amulet. The word tamima refers to that, right? And it's worn for protection. It's worn for sometimes enhanced abilities, charisma, persuasion of other people, getting other people to do what you want. This is what the wearer of such an item intends. And what do we say about it? مَنْ تَعَلَّقَ تَمِيمَةً فَقَدْ أَشْرَكَ. Whoever wears this or puts it on another person or puts it on their car, hanging it on the rear view mirror, or puts it in their house hanging on the wall, فَقَدْ أَشْرَكَ, he has committed an act of shirk. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. Here's an example of some things that have been pulled out of these items. And take a look at it. You'll see, what do you see? Tables with numbers, writings, and letters. And when you look at it closely, you'll see disastrous and blasphemous things. Right? Look at some of them as well. Look at this. This is supposed to be a Quranic amulet. What do you see there? That's not Arabic. For those of you who don't know Arabic, there's some letters put upside down, going left to right, going right to left, but there's no real Arabic there except for the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim written on top of it. Subhanallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim written on top of a table of numerology and whatever the goal is behind all of that. The point is not to decode these things, but to know that this is what's inside of the talismans. When they say the sheikh of the village, he's doing a ruqyah for you, he wrote some Quran and he put it in there for you. And then you unroll it and you get something like this. Look at this one. Just looks like lucky numbers or something for the lottery. This is supposed to be a Quranic talisman. Look at the top. Ash-Shaytan, Fir'aun, wa Haman. Not Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This one's a bit more evil and more obvious, and it's evil. And it's got it's got a whole bunch of calling upon and then it's got writings that look like it could be Sulaiman. It looks like Sulaiman. Sulaiman, written up, down, and sideways. Could be. Or it could be some language that is not Arabic and not known to us. It's a call upon someone. And then you'll notice throughout, in the middle there, you'll see again Fir'aun, Haman, Ash-Shaytan, like that. Then you might say, oh, but look, you think it's La ilaha illallah. See, Nafis just said La ilaha illallah. Read it again, Nafis. La ilaha Allah. There's no illah there. And that's intended. The difference is La ilaha illallah means there's no deity worthy of worship. Illallah, I exempt Allah. La ilaha Allah means there's no deity and not Allah. I negate all deities and even Allah too. Big difference when you leave out illah, right? It's not La ilaha illallah. You would assume it is, without thinking poorly of them and being suspicious. You would assume La ilaha, you would assume that's the shahada. Then also look at Muhammad Rasulullah. It's not really Rasulullah. You'll see something at the end where you can't really see it, but it's not Allah's name. It's Rasul of something. Subhanallah. You don't find them saying La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, but they change it slightly to make it blasphemous and devious. And then there's this name Azazil, which is known to be one of the names of the demons as well, and so on. This is something in an amulet worn by a Muslim, thinking this is a Quranic talisman to protect me from harm, and through this Allah protects me. Allahu Akbar, Wallahu al-Musta'an. The question is it possible that some of these inscriptions are invitations or a means through which a jinn would infect a person or become, would possess a person? And yes, that's very possible. When a person is wearing something, calling out certain jinn by name, saying, enter me and I'm your ally and things like this, then these are open invitations. And you find the people busy in the world of talismans, you find so often that they are insane and that they have been possessed and that they are into all kinds of crazy behavior that can't be explained. And it's very likely that they are possessed by jinn. What is this one here? This one looks a little bit, this is a slate that has some letters and numbers written in a 4x4 blocked pattern. You can guess, it's a tamima. Yeah, it's a talisman. It is the same exact thing that we've talked about. مَنْ تَعَلَّقَ تَمِيمَةً فَقَدْ أَشْرَكَ. Whoever hangs a thing like this has committed shirk. It might also be called ta'weez. Ta'weez comes from the word ta'weez, pronounced in some cultures ta'weez, or ta'weez, without the ayn, ta'weez, which means what? Something that gives you protection from al-i'ada. A'udhu billah, like that with ta'weez. So this is something that protects me. It might be called a ruqya as well, a healing, and it might be called just simply a charm. You might be saying, this is exotic and far off. This is a click away on the internet. Free shipping. Yeah, free shipping. Sanctified metal Muslim ta'weez to exercise authoritative and dominating influence over others. Yeah, $62.99 with free shipping. I mean to say, this is not so much a foreign thing only connected to some parts of India or Pakistan or deep in some parts of some countries that really have nothing to do with you. Look where it is now. Your children are on the internet clicking across pages like this maybe. Here and there. The Muslim encounters these kinds of things. They're a lot closer than you may think. Ya Rashad.
Is it possible to be able to make something like that yourself personally, and it still represents and holds the same weight?
Absolutely. These can be made by, any person of deviation, any person of polytheism can create an amulet. It's not something only a specialist or someone in another country can do. People in this country do things that are satanic, and they call upon jinn and shayateen. It is not a far-off idea. It is something close. We have in our culture here in America certain cultures that preceded us, meaning our current American culture is drawn from lots of different foreign cultures. Haiti, Jamaica, some of the island cultures, what do they have? Voodoo. They have black magic, voodoo. They have very terrible magical cultures. You'll find them slaughtering chickens and using the blood of a slaughtered chicken in the name of some demon like that, putting real magical spells on people. You have other cultures. In some cultures in Morocco, you find that it's so common that they're going to put a spell on a new bride to make her husband love her. And we're going to talk about the tiwala, the love spells, the love potions in the next chapter, insha'Allah ta'ala. But in some cultures, that's a standard. If you love your daughter or your niece, you make sure she drinks that potion and that her husband will love her. You make sure you put that scrolled piece of paper under her doorstep so that her husband will step over that, that scroll, and the magical spell will take its effect on him. And they intend good, but they're so ignorant. I don't mean to specify Morocco alone, but there are other cultures that also have these kinds of things, yeah? You probably will not find any culture except there's, to some degree or another, some of these people as con men, as people preying on the ignorance of the ignorant to sell these items, and the people are not investigative enough to figure out that they're just being conned and they're being targeted. I'll read to you now what's been featured on an Indonesian website which sells, quote, unquote, authentic Indonesian amulets and talismans, taweez, occult charms, mystical stones, sacred weaponry, ritual items, etc. They said about this item that you see there, the slate with the 4x4 chart with the numbers and the alphabetical letters, there are divine powers conferred on the locket through a series of Islamic incantations that can inspire devotion in others. Consequently, its mystical properties can be used to exercise authoritative and dominating influence over others. You will be able to control other people. Persuasion, huh? Also, ritual sanctification of the taweez, there's another word, taweez, locket, taweez, is performed by the legendary Banten masters of Indonesian occult. Occult, Satanism. Islamic Satanism, though. Yeah, because they're Muslims and this is Islamic amulets, thereby evoking interest, attention, and admiration in a powerfully irresistible way. Due to the talisman's magical ability to inspire enthusiasm, one can therefore effectively exercise direct control over others, commanding them to follow one's instructions and to even obey one's orders. Thus, the wearer of the sanctified metal Muslim taweez is perfectly equipped to maximize the benefits of instant charisma. This is not something I've translated from some ancient catalog of magical items. This is something in the English language available right now on the internet for sale. And this is the description of it. Like you would buy laundry detergent, you can also click on this and buy this one. And this is Shirk. We say, "Man ta'allaqa tamimatan faqad ashrak." Whoever hangs a talisman, he has committed shirk. Further, in description of the same item, people will find it hard to ignore the charismatic personality of the person wearing this powerful item. Hence, the wearer of the holy metal locket will not only be demanding respect, but also compelling attractiveness. This also means that the metaphysical energies imbued within the amulet can dispel any possible reserved or antagonistic feeling which people may have towards you. And so wearing this, what's it called? Indonesian Islamic taweez. Islamic Satanism, subhanallah, can help increase one's personal charm and sex appeal. Thereby, it allows one to successfully develop expand and maintain professional, social, and even personal and intimate relationships through the magical quality of enhanced or sexually charged charisma. Allahu Musta'an. This is something available right now for purchase on the internet. That's how close it is. Like I say, a couple clicks away from you right now. It's not something distant and far off from you. And of course, this is polytheism. Here it is on eBay. You can find it on eBay. This is how close it is. You know what eBay is. Ta'weez, arm, wristband, locket, necklace, amulet, pouch, soft leather type. On sale, there's the price available on eBay. Like that. I ask you about this right here. What is this? Now, not so foreign. Now we're getting a little closer to more American culture. A silicone wristband that has a holographic image in the middle. You may assume this is harmless. This is not. An exercise bracelet, right? They call it an exercise bracelet. All right. What's the image? Nothing like, except some silly hologram. It doesn't mean anything.
I guess it's said to help keep you balanced.
That's one of the claims. It's called the Power Balance Bracelet that was marketed over the last 10 years or so. But maybe 5 years ago, it was exposed as a fraud, meaning they were claiming, as we'll see, they were claiming that their technology, the technology in this bracelet, affected energy fields within the body and enhanced performance. What's this here? It's now something worn around your wrist. While now it's silicone. And now it looks modern. And now it's being sold as something that has scientific claims behind it, that it actually helps the balance in your body through some fields of energy. It's not just a magical item here. This is like scientifically and biologically helpful to you. This is how it was presented to the West. The problem is that, the scientific community tests things, and they look to see if someone's claim has any basis. And they tested this with placebos and other bracelets of a similar type. They found nothing except what could be a slight change in a person's own perception of how he feels when he wears it. He's a little more confident when he wears it because he feels it's helping him. Yes, his performance may be improved because of the confidence that he has. He may do things that he wouldn't normally do. That's just an issue of like when you wear good clothes or nice new shoes, you might do something a little better because you feel better about yourself. The effect of new clothes or something that you feel good about does actually affect your performance. But as for the bracelet, it's been proven that it has no impact at all on one's performance, on his level of energy or recovery from injuries or anything like that. It's all just claims. Look at this one. How much they're selling this one for? $854 for a plastic or silicone bracelet. The Power Balance original bracelet. Wallahu al-Musta'an. This brand, I believe this is the one that Shaquille O'Neal was endorsing. And he was wearing it. And it was around the year 2010, 2011, before they got exposed, before they got sued, before they got shut down for their fraudulent claims. Even the sports figures that were promoting it, like Shaquille O'Neal himself, was personally sued for endorsing a bogus company with bogus claims. Now, the bottom line, though, is through all of this, again, what happened? We're putting something on our wrist. It's circular in shape. It's being wrapped around us. And we're believing that this is making me more energetic, more performance on the court or the field. This is a tamima. And man ta'allaqa tamimatan faqad ashraka applies to that. And a person should be very investigative and very cautious as it relates to wearing bracelets to improve performance or improve health or keep disease away or these kinds of things. Because the shaitan is not going to simply suffice with those old things that look like ancient talismans. And so everything that looks really old, that's the shirky thing, that's the polytheistic thing. Anything that's new, that has a shiny look to it and a modern look, then this must be clean and scientific and biologically proven and all of that. No, the shaitan will come even through what looks to be like something medically proven or biologically sound. So now, a third item here. What is this one here? Anyone know what this is? That's the copper bracelet. Abdul Alim asked 2 weeks ago about the copper bracelet. And what are these little circles on the back of it? You know what those are? Magnets. Barakallahu feek. They said with a combination of copper, the metal copper, with little magnets at certain places, that this does something to the energy fields of the body, enhancing performance, curing rheumatism, al-wahina. Perhaps we could call al-wahina rheumatism. The effects of the wahina disease was that a person's arms would become tight and very difficult to use, like rheumatism and like similar things. So this was claimed to cure or alleviate the symptoms of rheumatism and arthritis and other things like that. Wallahu al-musta'an. And what is it? It's a magnetic copper bracelet worn for healing and energy. And it is a tamima. It is an amulet worn to gain health or to gain a benefit. Man ta'allaqa tamimatan faqad ashraka. Whoever hangs a tamima has committed shirk. Go to the medical websites that study matters. You'll find them dispelling the claims of the companies that are trying to sell these bracelets, saying copper bracelets do not help rheumatoid arthritis. Any research after research over the years shows these were just claims being made that were not built upon any scientifically verifiable study or information. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. Then, if there's no scientific basis, why are they worn? Even today, these items, while their companies have been sued, the Power Balance Bracelet Company sued, went out of business. Another company came and took them over and sold them under a different name. Copper bracelets with magnets in them, until today, are still available, still being bought and sold all over the place, with good reviews, with people swearing as testimonials. Notice, fake medicine, these kinds of things, the only thing they have in their favor is testimonies. Testimonies. No scientific study that shows growth or disease being prevented or anything, but rather what? Just emotional testimonies, where people swear that they've used the product and it's helped them. That's not scientifically sound for you just to have a testimony, especially testimony of people you don't know if they're honest or who they are or anything like that, right? So why are they still being worn today when it's been in the news that the companies promoting them have lied and there is no scientific basis for any of their claims? Why do people still wear them? They say, well, I don't care about the lawsuits. I know they work because I bought one, I put it on, and I felt better and I felt more energetic. And when I don't wear it, I don't feel so energetic. What is it? It's a mind thing. It's a psychological thing. It's a psychological thing where if you've paid $100 for a bracelet, you've invested in it and you really want it to work. You don't want to be a sucker. You don't want to have to say, I spent $100 and I wasted my money. You want, because you spent $100, you want to say, it worked. And I recommend it because it's a great thing and it really helped me. That's what comes along with being prepared to put $100 on an item. You want to say, my investment paid off, and I advise you as well to invest in this thing. It's that psychological feeling of investing in something and wanting it to pay off and wanting it to work. That's what it is. It's testimonials based on that. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. This is what Allah Ta'ala has made easy for us to review this evening. وَصَلِّ اللَّهُمَّ وَسَلِّمْ وَبَارِكْ عَلَى نَبِيِّنَا مُحَمَّدٍ وَعَلَى آلِهِ وَصَحْبِهِ أَجْمَعِينَ. If there's a correction to an error made or a question or comment that's brief and connected to the content of our class this evening, then we'll share it at this time, inshallah. Abba Fatima. The question is, what about a knee brace? Specifically, there's one called the Tommy Copper knee brace. And there are others as well. That's one of the more popular names, but other names can pop up with the copper knee brace. So what it is it's the combination of two things. Traditional knee braces, which stabilize your knee, which are medically proven to be effective in situations where they're needed. A knee brace is something that's known. The copper elements that you pay extra for, that's the gimmick. In actuality, you have now bands of copper around your lower thigh and upper calf, part of the knee brace, and that's not scientific. It's supposed to help circulation, it's supposed to help cure arthritis or lessen the pains of arthritis and so on. And I was advised when I first came here to get a Tommy Copper knee brace when I first came here. So if you wear a knee brace to stabilize your knee, something like a medical knee brace, and you've been told your knee is weak and this will help you, that's fine. But don't buy the copper one, paying extra, thinking that this metal here is going to enhance healing and keep away painful injuries even more. That's the tamima side of it. I mean, look how the shaitan comes, a knee brace. We want you to be able to, on your own, connect this issue to Tawheed, to see how the placement of your trust upon things, if they are asbab, if they are real means through which Allah does allow healing, like taking an aspirin that alleviates pain, that's shown scientifically that has an effect, other medications, treatments, surgeries that have been proven to alleviate a situation, then these medical treatments are endorsed by the Prophet ﷺ, who said, Tadawaw. He told the people to take medical treatments. And there's nothing wrong with that. And part of that is tawakkul. You're asking Allah for the healing through these means. Just like you ask Allah for food, and you also go to the kitchen and cook something. You take the steps through which to get the food, but your food comes from Allah Ta'ala. There's no breach in tawakkul, in trust, in those matters. The breach of tawakkul comes when there's no basis at all. Just to say, because it's copper, it's going to heal me. And there's no basis for that. Now you're relying on something that's unproven, and now it enters into amulets and talismans and impermissible hangings on your body and so on. And this topic is not over yet, just so you know. The next chapter is still on the topic of ruqa, tama'im, tiwala, broadening the topic a little bit to include love potions and other matters that are similar, but still talking about the issues of talismans and amulets and things like that. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.